This is your announcer, Shannon Saint Mainframe, welcoming you to our IPA Livecast. Buffering. Did you see all that buffering on Netflix last night during the live boxing match with the old douchebag and the young douchebag? Buffering. Yeah, that was me. I was pissed because I thought it would be another live hot dog eating contest. Don't get my hopes up, Netflix. You will pay the price if you fail me. Our IP Livecast starts now.
I take issue with that because Mike Tyson is not a douchebag. He's a rapist. Let's get it right. Okay?
To be fair, the Paul brothers are probably both rapists as well.
Fair.
Or will be one day, so let's not sell them short.
Right.
It's true.
Also,
welcome to our IPL Livecast.
Please intro the show. I'm very sorry.
It's Rob here with Sid and 3D.
Hey.
It's Saturday, November 16th. We're past the halfway mark of November, of the penultimate month of 2024. It's almost over, folks.
Only getting
Welcome.
better from here, right?
Yeah. So what were you saying, Darren?
When I heard Tyson versus Paul, and it might be because of this show being so food centered, I just thought of like chicken nuggets versus fish sticks. That was the first thing that came to mind, like Tyson versus Mrs. Paul. And I thought it was going to be some kind of a debate. But
I'm
I
not
guess
familiar
not.
with Mrs. Paul fish sticks.
What?
Yeah. Whoa, what?
I
You're
was
Mr.
not.
Seafood.
I was not a fish. I was not a fish sticks kid. I did not like fish sticks as a
Are
child.
you familiar with Gorton's?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the Gorton's fisherman.
I think Mrs. Paul is like slightly better.
Yeah, from what I mean, I am so unplugged from the fish stick world and seafood pursuits in general. But everything everyone around me always said was that Mrs. Paul's fish sticks was like a guilty pleasure of processed foods that everybody loved.
Yeah, I always stayed away from the processed seafood. You know, it has to be fresh for me.
Understood.
Even as a
except for the
wee little
frozen
baby?
shrimps. Yeah, no, I just didn't like the fish sticks as a kid. Or even like my mom would make, you know, like fish fillets, like breaded fillets, and I wasn't even into that.
When I was in
I don't
school,
know,
the
I probably had a bad
cafeteria,
experience. Yeah.
the cafeteria always had a fish stick day, and these scum-sucking pigs, they never had the non-fish option for anybody. It was like,
So
I
it was
remember
fish
that.
or Go fuck yourself.
Yep.
Maybe that's why.
yeah.
Maybe that's why I hated it, because like I have this vivid memory of eating a fish stick that was like half frozen still. And I'd be like, ugh.
Poor preparation. That could.
Yeah.
But my cafeteria in my elementary school, for some reason, was just great. And my mother used to send me there with bag lunches and never paid for the hot lunch. And sometimes a kid wasn't hungry and I'd bum his pizza or something. But I mean,
Exactly the same for me.
yeah, but it was good food.
Your parents would make your food as well, Sydney?
Mm-hmm.
What would they give you? They would bring you to school with borscht?
No, it was never Russian food. God forbid. I would just not eat then. I honestly don't remember what it was. I remember sometimes like on the way to junior high, we would stop at Highway Bagels and they would get me a chocolate croissant.
Oh,
but I don't remember if that was like the entirety of my life. It's weird that I don't remember, but I do not remember what kind of food. Yeah, it's quite possible.
So you don't even remember. So it's not necessarily that they made you a sandwich. They would buy something from the bagel store for you? Or?
Sometimes, I think.
Okay.
I definitely remember the chocolate croissants because I remember classmates in the cafeteria saying it looked like there was poop in the croissant.
That does look like that.
Yeah.
That's delicious.
I could see that. I could see. Yeah, it's delicious poop, but poop nonetheless.
Yeah.
No, I always had school lunch. I never had the prepared lunch. I don't think. No. There would be a rare occasion where I would make a scene and make my mom buy me Lunchables and bring that as school lunch occasionally. But in the end, I think my mom was right. That shit was terrible.
Well, that may be true. But I'm just saying, maybe my school was an exception. But they had a legit cafeteria that was very nice, and the food preparation was, grading on a curve for a school, I guess. But I mean, it was good. It was good food. I enjoyed it.
Elementary school, I didn't enjoy. I remember I hated the hamburgers because they were boiled. It was boiled meat.
Ooh.
It grilled. It tasted so bad. But then high school, when I went to Murrow, the kitchen staff really did care there, so it was very good.
That's also more of a she high school. That's not like a regular working class.
It's still a public school. What are you talking about?
But it's like a
It's a
little bit
public
elevated.
school.
Come on now.
Is it? Why?
Yeah, you got to be a smarty
just
pants
as
to
many
get in there, so they probably got more funding.
In Murrow?
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
I don't think you had there was any admissions test, but I do
talent.
think what it was. Yeah, well, I don't think you even had to have a talent. You just had to. Want
Yeah, that's why they let you in, Rob.
Oh, I didn't mean it that way. Now that you mention it, no. I think it was just you had to be wanting to pursue a talent. You didn't have to be good at it.
Right. Yeah. Maybe that was it. Yeah.
It was an alternative school for kids that wanted to do arts or drama or like whatever stuff like that.
No.
Yeah.
Or even other things. I feel like humanities.
No, yeah, they had a big science program. There was a planetarium in the school. I remember, which was really
there you
just,
go.
But it was more for
classes.
It was more of a cultural alternative school. Like the kids who wanted to do that stuff had their little cliques of being really interested in this or that thing. And those were it was like to accommodate them so they didn't have to go into the
Gen Pop.
The fucking Royal Rumble of regular schools.
Yeah.
It was quite a Royal Rumble in its own way, I feel.
Is that right? I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, it was a very segregated school. Not like
not racially, I know.
But not racially. Well, ethnically, partially, but everyone got along, but a lot, there was you could hang out in the hallways, which I don't think they allow anymore, but which is quite a ridiculous thing. You could just sit on the floors and make noise in the hallways while we teach.
So this was allowed during classes? Kids were just outside your door fucking around?
Yes, because also the school had these free periods called optas. It's like an optional period. So you could choose not to have a class, or you could take an elective or whatever. And so if you have an opta, you could just hang out in the hallway or in the cafeteria, the lunchroom, etc. And everyone, you have at least one opta a day. And the further along in your school life, as a junior or senior, you'll have significantly more.
Were kids fucking in the stairwells?
I don't think they needed to go to the stairwells.
Excuse me?
They just got a little bed sheet or went into the bathrooms or something.
What are the Orthodox Jews in the school of bed sheets? What are you talking about?
Also, if a teacher passes by or something,
So they would just like as if they were in a movie theater, like the popcorn box kind of. So they're just they were doing stuff under the sheet.
Believe me, I was far too naive to be anywhere near any of that stuff.
You fingered a chick in public. You don't care. You don't need a bed sheet.
No, that was college.
But still, you had that in you.
Oh, you Rachel! I finally got an opta, Rachel. Come here, I got the bed sheet. Let's go.
It was dark. It was dark when I fingered her in public, though. So.
Well, it was a nighttime fingering.
Yeah,
I thought this was a daytime.
So did I.
Fingering.
No, this is a nighttime.
Oh, that changes the whole story. You're much less of a rebel now.
Rob,
what?
You fucking misled us.
You might have been in her ass.
Do we know?
No,
for
I
sure
definitely
it's
wasn't.
a girl?
It was a little too. What do you mean?
Why
would I lie about that?
Not lying. Not lying. You may have been subconsciously pursuing your future identity.
Yeah.
Oh well, I mean, I knew this was a girl I was dating. I'm not going to go through the story again.
Oh, was it though? I didn't know this was the girl you were dating. I thought this was someone you had. You was an acquaintance.
This was a girl I went on multiple dates with. Not that I was dating.
It wasn't the one I know of that you were dating.
I don't like the person who was my girlfriend. You mean?
Yes.
No, it wasn't her. No.
Why is that such a weird thing that she'd be you're like the girlfriend?
My girl? Well, I don't know. I dated multiple women.
That was the only one I knew.
Well, I should say I dated a handful of women.
Right.
That was the only one I knew you dated. Do you think any of those women look at you as the one that got away? They don't know that you later came out as a gay man, and they think, I wonder what happened to Rob.
Well, this one whom I've fingered in public, I have seen her many times at social gatherings, without getting too descriptive of why she would be around, but I have seen her in recent years, as we are adults, and after.
So you're saying you fingered her when she was a child?
No, come on, Sid. This was when we were both 20.
So you're basically adults then?
Sorry.
Yeah. But I mean, like in adulthood, I should say, like further into adulthood, when we're like much more established in our lives. And I gotta say, Rabba still got it because she was still laying it on thick. And I was just like, no thanks.
If you were in a grinder drought, maybe blow job. Doesn't the mouth is a mouth.
Oh sure, yeah, I wouldn't be opposed, but not from her.
Was physically or something else?
No, she's an attractive girl. Well, yeah, like it's just, I can't. It's not going to happen at this point. Also, it's interesting because I feel like, I'm not sure if I talked about this on the show, but there was an opportunity to possibly get to home base, but the problem was we didn't have anywhere to seal the deal.
On the night of the public fingering, you mean?
No, just in general. Like it was something we both discussed. Like, let's have some sex. Let's have the sex. and then like we just fell out of touch. And then I ran into her many years later, and she made it seem like it was me who was disinterested in pursuing it further.
Which clearly you were.
Well, he didn't know he was, though.
Yeah, actually, now that I'm telling the story at this point, it's like, subconsciously, I obviously was.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, but he didn't know it.
Yeah, but outwardly, I don't think. I mean, you know what? I probably was. I was probably lying to myself that. Look at that. We had a little mini therapy session here on the show.
We had a
real time.
Text her right now. Apologize.
Text her right now. Like, I will bang you.
It's not your fault.
I was
my hourly fee is $45. Very cheap for a therapy.
Oh, wow. Very, very affordable.
Pay up.
Very affordable that you just sat there and listened to me make these connections.
I mean,
that's really what it is.
Wait, is the hourly fee for Darren doing therapy or for Rob fucking this girl?
That's
I'm legit not sure where we're at.
I can't charge for that. I'm not providing the service.
You should each try.
But yeah, since then, every time we've seen each other, she kind of, especially when she has a few drinks in her, kind of makes it clear, like, hey.
Wait, does she know you're gay?
She's Seinfeld?
At this point, yes.
So she's trying to turn you back to the other team?
Time out. What do you mean at this point? So it sounds like you don't know if she knows, which means you haven't told her.
Like, I haven't told her.
You're saying she
should.
You're assuming that she's assuming it.
He assumes that she watches the live cast like everyone else.
No, that we have mutual friends who definitely know I'm gay. I assume would have told her.
But she wouldn't sit there and talk about you all day. That's so narcissistic.
That's what I was thinking. Like, obviously, they found out and they texted everyone that we have as mutual friends.
Did you hear?
Yeah.
About Rob?
I mean, that's what I would do.
You didn't though. You didn't tell everyone.
But I'm trying to. I believe there was actually a social gathering where I was there with my boyfriend, and she was there. And
did you make out with him?
No, but I was like with him, like he was my date. Like we were sitting together and all that. Like it was a function.
Maybe she's just like Rob brought a pal. He just brought his pal.
His very good friend and roommate.
Oh, yeah, he's just making out with his friend over there on the couch, his pal.
Dusty Rhodes Buffalo asks if you and your boyfriend DP'd this woman.
No, he would not be into that.
Did you DDP her?
He
a diamond cutter?
I'd be more into that, yeah.
You'd be more into inflicting violence on her than fucking her?
I'd be more into grappling with her than boning her. Yeah.
That makes sense. Bang!
I think Dusty Rhodes Buffalo is saying you have her in the iron claw on that bus. Or I have the iron claw on that bus. Oh,
anal full Nelson.
Yeah.
Give her an anal full Nelson. Rob's blanking on that. You remember that thing?
I know. Yeah.
Okay.
No,
the new listeners, that was a porn line that we heard of, where the men would put the women into wrestling holds while fucking them in the ass.
And now there's like grappling porn.
Right.
And look, I've put men in full Nelsons while having anal. So
how does that work? Like, are they bouncing on your dick and then you hook them in, or like you put them in the hold first?
No, they're on their stomach, flat. I am on top of them, flat, and then I just tuck my arms under their arms and put.
But is it I thought a full Nelson you need to be behind the person for the wrestling.
I am behind the person.
He's laying on top of them with them face down.
Oh, they're face down. I thought you said they were on their back.
They're on their stomach. No,
I see. I'm sorry.
We're both on our stomachs.
You can fucking choke a guy out.
Yeah, you're like 6'5",
I'm not choking them.
But you're like pushing their face into like the pillow or the mattress.
No, that's not true. Like their face could be on the side.
Could be.
I don't. I'm very aware of what I'm doing. It's just a little roughhousing.
I don't want you to have like a.
I know when I'm choking somebody. Let me put it that way.
Oh my god. Have you ever given your boyfriend a sunset flip?
I have not given my boyfriend a sunset flip while fucking. That's a little.
It's an idea for this weekend.
But I have seen gifts. I feel like we've shared them in the Discord.
Yeah, there was one guy that was making those gifts like of wild wrestling holds during. Like there's one where he does a sunset flip and his mouth winds up right on the woman's pussy.
Yeah,
immediately starts licking her pussy.
Right. Like he's getting head. He's getting head, and then he does the sunset flip, and he ends up with her cooch in his face. It's quite acrobatic, very athletic.
Feminist.
That's what we are here.
I just don't want you to have a like a David Carradine thing where some guy like winds up suffocating during pleasure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just be careful.
Well, David Carradine did it to himself. Rob would be a murderer. We'd have to do the show via like prison bars.
Yeah, I mean,
shit. You have to go to one of them progressive prisons where they have like a podcasting program for the inmates, so you could still do the show.
I've definitely, I've had multiple hookups in the past where the guy was into choking, and to a point where it was uncomfortable for me.
That's entrapment.
I thought you were going to say you had multiple hookups in the prison yard, like on a communal visit.
No, just in the sense where like they're like, yeah, keep choking me, and I'm like, no, you're going to pass out.
I've definitely had that happen before.
Now I'm just picturing Rob.
Not the passing out. Sorry, I don't want to clear my name. Go ahead.
I'm picturing Rob walking past a prison yard in like cut off shorts just to tempt all the men.
boys.
Let's see what that would look like.
Have it.
You could just see that when I go to the Korean sauna. Hey, boys.
Or Brighton Beach. Any weekday
is on the menu. It's true. I've moved on to the Speedo.
But you show up in the Daisy Dukes, and then for modesty, when you're on the way there, and then you reveal the Speedo.
I think for men it should be a male name. It shouldn't be Daisy Dukes. Let's call them David Dukes.
David Dukes.
No, wait a minute.
KK.
Rob wearing those cut off David Dukes like a slut.
Slutty David.
The Confederate flag on him.
I don't feel comfortable with that phrasing.
No?
Okay. No, I don't feel comfortable with that.
But
I'm still getting used to the Speedos myself.
Oh,
you've never been asked this?
I wouldn't be into it. I'm happy to never have been asked. But the Speedo, speaking of choking things, what made you decide to go Speedo?
I think it was, so I before that I had trunks, and my most recent trunks were the European kind that kind of looked like Daisy Dukes, like the really short, the high thigh rather cut.
Okay.
So it exposes kind of half of my thigh.
Okay.
But I noticed, so I lost some weight, so they weren't as form-fitting, humble brag. But also, though, I noticed that they were, because of the extra looseness, they were a little restrictive, I realized. And so what I do like about the Speedo is that it's like I'm wearing nothing at all. Nothing at all. So it feels like a much more natural swim.
See, I don't understand how the Speedo is less restrictive.
It does. My legs feel less restricted.
Oh,
and there's like nothing flapping around. That's like
I mean,
restricting my. But it's restricting my forward momentum. I mean,
you could just wear the trunks and tuck like drag queens do, like tape your privates down so they're not flapping around.
No, it's more just like it's around the legs that if you like it's my fat thighs. I don't know. It's different. I prefer the Speedo, and I feel like a kind of a hipster wearing it. What's that?
Do you get any comments from the old Bob?
It's Brighton Beach, so like 90% of the people are wearing even more revealing clothing than me. Like I'm wearing the Speedos that are kind of like shorts. They're not the bikini cut.
But that's the only thing I envision when I think Speedo. I don't know what else it would be.
Yeah, what else can a Speedo be?
What can you do a modeling session? Just really quick, run to your bedroom.
Do you want me to put on my Speedos?
Yeah, do the rest of the show and nothing like your Speedo.
Yeah, I'll show you the exact model that I have. Sorry, I'm distracted by all the boys in Speedos.
I bet you are.
But there are guys in the banana hammocks.
Yes,
I tried the banana hammock, but like where your legs go through, it was too tight on my thighs are too wide for the leg openings.
So you think I'm sorry, go ahead. Thought you were done.
No, so I was just going to show the ones I have.
Oh, don't you think like a penis is something that it's like playing the radio on the train. It's almost like something that should not be shared with the entire audience. You know what I mean?
Do you think?
See, I don't think Speedo when I see this.
Well, this is a Speedo.
I see that it's that brand, but this is square leg splice.
Do these men purposely have zero penises too? Like, is that photoshopped out for modesty or like?
Zoom in, Rob. Let's see what the bulges are like.
No, it's definitely photoshopped. Oh, this one I don't know.
Oh, well, yeah.
Hello. No,
that's what I'm saying. Like, do they Photoshop it, or do they find men with very small bulges?
Maybe they just keep the studio very cold.
So why didn't?
So this is more what you were thinking, right? Like,
yeah.
Oh my God, the guy's a thigh gap. That's a vagina.
Yeah, so that's what it is. Like the thigh openings are a little too tight for me.
No matter the size.
No matter the size.
Bigger.
Well, I get the waist size that fits me. If I get it bigger, then it's too loose. That's the whole point.
Interesting.
Life is hard.
But those guys aren't. Oh. You should just go to the nude beach, Rob. Then you don't have to worry.
Also, with the modesty, like I look at a dick print as like boob cleavage, right? It's the same thing.
It's not quite the same thing. I think it'd be more like camel toe.
Yeah,
like revealing your vagina. Which I don't need to see that either. Like to me, breasts are aesthetically pleasing.
Well,
vaginas are like functional,
I only wear the Speedo around a body of water. Otherwise, I'm wearing board shorts on top of it. Like, I agree. Like, that is not like I wouldn't go into a store wearing those. You know what I mean? I do feel a little too shy to do that, but I think that on the beach, it's totally fine. I guess you do see my package print a little bit, but it's not like
right.
It's not that bad. And also that's why I got black
the
too.
Children.
Yeah. But so that's my Speedo, folks.
Awesome.
If you want some pics, we're gonna have a Patreon tier where I'll take a nice photo shoot, like an OnlyFans. Maybe buy like a hot pink Speedo just for the shoot if we get.
Maybe the patrons can order the Speedo for you, have it sent to you.
Oh wow, that's hot! I'm into that. I'd be very flattered by it.
You don't know where it's been though. You have to wash it.
Well, of course, yes, or it has to be sealed packaging. I'm
packaging.
Size 38 to 40 waist, folks. So just or like usually a 2XL is the size.
We could do like a little.
Oh, go ahead.
We're gonna do a little cameo thing where the people can send a message and Rob will perform the message on his penis. Like his penis will be a puppet. And then he can just say what the people want, but it'll be just like cameo.
So like the mouth of like the dick hole is the mouth.
Yeah. And you paint
Didn't
a
they-
little face on it. It'll be called like Pinio.
Didn't they do something like that in that Bruno movie? Like at the
Really?
end of
They
Bruno,
did.
there was like a talking dick. I
Was
feel
there?
like
I don't
I
remember
think
this.
so,
I know
Rob.
there was puppetry of the
I
penis.
don't
That's what
recall.
I was thinking of.
But I think in Bruno they did something similar at some point. That
Bruno,
was like the scan like in Borat, like the naked chase scene. But the version of that for Bruno, the real freak out moment was like a close up of a cock talking at you or something like that.
oh, I'm
I'm pretty
blanking on
sure.
this. I like that movie too. Why am I forgetting this scene?
Like he had this video and he showed it to people, like a focus group or some sort of conservative person, and just freaked them the fuck out. Rob, right? Don't you? Am I crazy? Am I making this up?
Maybe it was the
I don't
Bruno
remember this
show
part
and
of the
not
movie.
the.
No, I think it was the movie.
I don't remember.
Let's see. Yeah, I guess you're right because when you Google Bruno penis talking, the first result is Bruno focus group censored.
There we go. All right. Maybe we need to do a watch along of that movie.
I don't think it holds up.
That's why I'm sort of curious, because I remember even at the time I was like, this is good, but
Yeah.
it's like a step back from his typical quality level. I don't know. And that was like in the peak of the Sacha Baron Cohen-ness. So now, years later, I wonder how we would view it.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
sort
that's
of.
what I thought
Yeah.
too. I was like, oh, it doesn't quite. It kind of felt like this. It's like let's try to do the same beats as the Borat movie, but with this gayer character. So let's push it even further.
Yeah, I was
But then it
trying
just, like-
slightly too hard.
Yeah.
Where it's like in Borat, he sort of let the people hang themselves. And in this one, it was like, no, we're gonna hang you. We're gonna make this so even a normal person would react, let alone whoever
Exactly.
It was too.
Yeah. It was
Nice.
too like the character is so much more provocative
Mhm.
that the person that's being the mark,
Yeah.
you almost
side with
empathize with them for reacting
Yeah.
negatively.
Like when they're making out inside the cage match. I feel like that was
Yeah.
without having a homophobic drop in your body, you could be like, I just want to see UFC. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, go away.
Right. Yeah.
I completely
So-
forgot about that scene. Yeah, maybe we do need to do a rewatch of that one. That would be
Sure.
interesting.
I guess that would be a fun watch along to see how
We'll add it to
how
the
I would do,
list.
because I remember I really like on the HBO show I really loved the Bruno sketches, especially when it would be like him mocking Hollywood figures, like when he got those television talking heads in, and he would make them do a take where they give their honest opinion, and then he stops and says, actually that's a very big sponsor for us, so could you just say the complete opposite thing? And then they just totally do it.
That was great. Yeah.
But we're a long ways away from that. And a long ways away from members of As They Lay Dying being in the band anymore, because it looks like everyone but Tim quit the band. This was like last week. We didn't get to this last week, but we talked about how there was one other guitarist, Phil, who gave a statement that like I can't quite quit the band yet, but I've quit because of legal reasons or whatever. And so now the whole band is done, and Tim Lambesis put out a statement.
But they're
And
like
it's
still
really,
playing shows or something? Has he
No,
already
no,
replaced them?
So they had a European tour that was about to start. And well, I believe he addresses it. So let's see what he says here.
Okay.
He wrote on Instagram. He goes, "Hi everyone. No, I'm not gonna. I needed some time to process all that has happened recently with As I Lay Dying. I guess as he laid processing. As I reflect, I certainly agree that there was an unhealthy environment that made leaving for a new tour with the previous lineup unrealistic." Now, what does that mean? He agrees that there was an unhealthy environment that made leaving for a new tour unrealistic.
It
became
means-
difficult.
It's all their fault, is what I mean.
Right. It became difficult to figure out even the smallest details. And I admit, I can stick strong to my vision for the future of As I Lay Dying, even when others think it should go another direction.
So he's making it seem like it was creative differences and not
right. Or he's like, yes, I'm very stubborn with the direction of this band. What if the direction is we need to start displaying swastikas on our video walls? And
I'm very stubborn
like, whoa.
I'm stubborn with the direction of this tour bus. I wanted to go straight over my ex-wife. The rest of the band was not in favor.
Well, the good news is that it would miss. If he did.
And he goes, it saddens me. Oh, it saddens me to think about the behaviors, communications, and pattern of interaction that led up to the tour cancellation. What human being uses the phrase patterns of interaction?
Wait,
what is this, a lawyer who wrote this? Phil was the guitarist that I mentioned who took a little extra to quit for legal reasons. Phil and I no longer saw eye to eye. Phil and I no longer saw Ida personally. There's a little typo in here.
What?
He meant to say saw eye to eye personally, creatively, or financially. What does this mean? I never saw eye to eye personally. Does this mean that Phil came out of the closet and Tim Lambesis is like, oh, I don't agree with you personally. Like, how does one not agree personally, creatively, or you know what I mean? Like, what are these words you're using?
I don't like killing wives.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
And you fundamentally do.
Yeah,
we can't get over that.
Discussions during this time prompted his decision to depart first. So it was actually Phil who was the first to quit, with each of the touring members deciding to leave shortly after, as they were not interested in going on without him. Unfortunately, that wasn't the order in which everything was made public, as some statements were rushed out during a chaotic time in response to rumors. Rushed out. Nobody rushed anything out.
Yeah. They should have thought about it a little longer before deciding they didn't like that he's a murderer. Should have put a little more.
Well, I guess what he's saying. So the tour manager was the first to quit, and after that, the drummer quit, and then that said, "Oh well, if this guy's quitting, I'm quitting." And then but really, they had already quit. It seems it's just the tour manager was the first to go public with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I assume what Tim was trying to do was put together a whole new band before the European tour, and then have it ready to announce that, oh, here's our new lineup, or something like that, and all
that
the
be
quitting
the way
members
people found out that the previous people quit, and then they all released their own statements first before he had a chance.
Exactly. Now this is me totally assuming.
It makes sense.
But based on how he's
why are we going to help you out with the timing of this? What is it?
Exactly.
So
if anything, they look bad because there's people being like, "Oh, I look forward to seeing you at the Denmark stop or whatever," and it's like,
he
I'm
wanted
actually
to
not going to be
sell
there.
tickets off the names of the people that had already quit.
Right.
Basically. And
exactly.
then once people bought their tickets, be like, well, lineup subject to change. Sorry, it's actually these other random motherfuckers.
What a cunt. Oh my God. What a scumbag he is.
But it saddens him. So that he goes.
I'm sure he lost a lot of money. That's what makes it very sad.
Well, you'll be happy to know that he fully supports each of the guys' decisions to leave and believe at this time it is best for everyone. With that being said, that didn't need to be said. Anytime somebody writes "with that being said," that part actually does not need to be said. With that being said, my door will always remain open to discuss anything directly, as I believe closing communication led to many assumptions and problems of its own. See, it's because they didn't talk to him that there was this miscommunication. Nothing is his fault.
You know what else led to problems of his own? Steroids.
And attempting to hire a hitman or murder his wife. Also,
right.
A problem.
Well, one thing feeds the other,
And Rob, did you see this news story from this morning?
Oh, that one moment. There's one other paragraph before he finishes off. He goes, regarding what's next, As I Lay Dying was founded on persistence and determination and my parents' money. No, he didn't write that.
Sounds like Tony Robbins. It's fucking
Yeah. For anyone who's familiar with the foundational years from 2000 to 2004, you know that more than 20 people whom I'm incredibly grateful for have come and gone to help me. Like, you're saying this like it's a brag, but within 4 years, you could, like, 20 people are like, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah, the foundational years.
Before the attempted murder.
Yeah,
yeah, right.
Yeah,
away from
way before this is before even the success.
Yep.
Have come and gone to help bring to life this vision I've had in my head since I was 19 years old. I look forward to building a new team and creating an atmosphere that is supportive, positive, and fosters a creative environment.
The foundational years, like he's fucking Duke University or something. What the fuck is this stupid metal band?
And yeah, so as Sid was alluding to moments ago, his other project, Austrian Death Machine, where he pretends to be Arnold Schwarzenegger. That band's drummer quit as well.
You can't even keep a meme band together.
Yeah. And that band has probably been dormant for like years and years, and the drummer's just like, just in case he calls me, I just want to go ahead and say no.
Yeah, the guy that owns the bodega down the block is also like, I'm not collaborating with you.
I'm not selling you any chopped cheeses anymore.
No Gatorade sales. No collaborations on that.
Only quarter drinks from now on.
He basically said his integrity and character have been called into question in a way I can no longer accept, especially with what has come to light and being in utter disbelief. What has come to light?
Did we miss one critical post that actually explains? No. Like, I don't understand. Like, they're all alluding to this thing that they all know what it is, but nobody will fucking tell us what came to light.
I don't know. He was the guy responsible for the Tyson Paul lagging.
He booked it.
Yeah. He booked the whole thing. That's even worse.
Well, here's what he said after that. He goes, the repeated promises, the endless cycle of I'll do better. Words that once gave me hope have turned into a broken record that has brought no real change. Instead, I found myself trapped in a pattern that eroded my trust and my well-being. This cycle has reached into my personal life, affecting my mental health in ways I can no longer ignore.
So, like, the promises to get better, is this just about him being a shitty bandmate? Or is it having to do with what he was in jail
like
for?
Writing new material, or like setting a tour, or responding to
he's
tour
just an asshole
offers
in the studio. Like, it could be a million different things if it's just being a shitty bandmate.
I would like to also say I will not be working with Tim Lambesis in the future because he convinced Rob not to go with the banana hammock, and I feel like he deprived the world of that spectacle.
Well, it's because of that time Tim fell into that bonfire. He was wearing a banana hammock and his dick almost burned off. So he's just trying to protect Rob. You should thank him for that.
So he said to the undercover cop, I just want to be clear. I want you to kill my wife, and I want Rob to wear a banana hammock.
Oh, my God.
I'm really mad at Rob, honestly. I'm going to issue a press statement that I will not be working with Rob because you have made me care about the life of Tim Lambesis. I'm sitting here on pins and needles waiting for this missing gap of information. And why should I care about these people?
I'm so curious about this.
The thing that bothers me the most in all of this is that now that Rob isn't involved in metal injection anymore, I can't yell at him to go find out this information.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, Rob, make some phone calls. Do your job. I can't even say that anymore.
He can just go, no.
No, I was just going to say, like, this is one of the first times where I'm like, if I was still kind of, clued in, I probably could find out.
Yeah.
Like start asking around and at least get the off the record thing where like we could talk about it off air or something.
Yeah.
But I'm so far removed that it would be weird to hit up the people that I would want to hit up. Like they'd be like, I'm not gonna like.
I haven't talked to you in 14 months. This is why you text me.
Yeah.
All I'm gonna say is there's a phone call. There's a job waiting for you right there. If you just take it, just call up the old metal injection offices.
Oh.
What's the job?
I bet if he calls those offices, his own phone would still ring.
Yeah, you have your old job. You know, writing the news stories and the coding and all that. You could just do it all again. Don't you miss it a little bit?
No.
Oh well.
I mean, writing the stories I miss. Yeah, the coding and the. What I really don't miss is the politics and the dealing with publicists. And to be clear, like a lot of the publicists are great people. I'm not saying, but just the constant game of, oh, do you want to premiere this? And, oh, why did you have to write that? This person is very upset. Like someone was just telling me a story about 6 Feet Under's Chris Barnes being hard to deal with. And it just reminded me like, oh, I'm so glad to be out of this world where these lunatics are somehow given this pedestal to act like diva. Like in any context in the real world, can you imagine Chris Barnes giving anybody else a hard time and them putting up with it? No, they would tell him to go fuck himself. But for some reason,
they would not let him into their Walgreens.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's this bubble. And it's just like, yeah, no, we got to put up with him. There's money to be made or whatever. I don't know.
Still 8 people who remember who he is. We need that ad revenue.
He's the reason why the cough syrup is behind a protective glass in Walgreens.
Seriously.
We're going to open up the Walgreens. No more protective cases for the likes of Chris Barnes to get all the Sudafed he wants. It's a new era.
Did we ever have Chris Barnes on the show? No, right?
I think we did.
We did?
Yeah, no, I believe he has called into the.
What a nice guy.
Wow. I'm sure he was great with us.
I'm like the Entertainment Tonight people with Bruno. Oh, he's a terrific guy. He's been on our show? Oh, okay. He's a terrific guy. Lovely person.
No, I guess not.
Fuck Corpse Grinder. What a piece of shit. Oh, he's been on the show? Oh, sweetheart.
Corpse Grinder has been on this.
He is a sweetheart.
He actually sat in.
He's an actual sweetheart. Yeah, he did our...
sad in the week I was in London. Such a bummer. I missed that.
Death or No Death.
I remember listening to that episode while I sat on a street corner in London while my wife and her friend were like getting mani-pedis.
Oh.
And I was just like sitting on the corner listening to you guys talk about skin tags.
On the curb or on the like?
I don't remember. I don't think I was like literally sitting on the ground, but I was just like it was like a street fair, and I was just like waiting for them because I'm not buying shit foreign currency. Just listen to my friends have a podcast.
Did you pick up any German, or you speak completely English immersion over there?
Well, this was in London. Why would
I thought you said. Why did I think you said Berlin? I'm sorry.
No. Never been to Berlin.
Oh, okay.
This was London.
No, so we didn't. We at one point played some cameos that he did. I wonder if he's still.
No. Oh yeah, he looked rough, as I recall.
Corpse Grinder looked rough.
No. Chris Barnes.
Oh, Chris Barnes. Does George have a cameo?
I don't believe so because I believe that George actually makes money. He has a career.
He doesn't need to.
He doesn't need this.
Some people with careers have
Not that there's anything wrong with doing cameo. Yeah.
I mean, Mustaine has a bigger career than he does. And
true. Does Tim Lambesis have a cameo?
I'm not sure. So Mustaine does it, but Mustaine charges 10 times the amount.
Oh, yeah.
True, sure.
But so let's see. Actually, Chris Barnes doesn't look too bad here.
He's gotten the beard.
Raul. Hey, Raul. It's me, Chris Barnes. Horns up to you, man. Raul, I'm Chris Barnes, like I said, from 6 Feet Under. And Mishu, your godson, booked me for the cameo video.
I'm Chris Barnes, like I said.
It's either Chris Barnes or the corpse of Randy Savage, so he needed to.
But now looking at Looking at that close up of his face, how peeved do you think he is to have to say the names Mishu and Raul?
At first, I thought he said he misses you. And I was like, oh no, he said the name Mishu. All right.
I miss you. My name is Chris Barnes.
Yeah.
Video for you. He thought you'd like it as a birthday present. So hey, I don't know, but he says he knows, so Mishu knows best, I suppose. So horns up to Mishu, horns up to you, Raul. I wish you a happy birthday. I hope it's a great birthday. On November 9th. So how about it? I hope you have a great day and spend a lot of time with the people that you care about and that care about you. So in the notes here, Mishu says, hello, Chris. Please wish my godfather, Raul, a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Raul.
Do you know what this is like? This is like when you get that assignment in English class and your essay has to be a certain amount of words, and then you start your essay writing out what the assignment was.
Yeah.
Right.
Just to hit that word count.
Sure.
Like, come on, man. You're just...
He's literally just repeating the assignment over and over again. So it's your birthday. I want to wish you a happy birthday. Here it says to make sure to wish you a happy birthday. So that's what I'm doing. Happy birthday.
And then the friend who sent you the birthday, he has a birthday at some point too. Let's wish him one as well.
And then he signs his name 17 times to the English essay too. This is Chris Barnes. It's Chris Barnes.
Is he going to list his entire, all his credits, all the bands he's been in?
Again to you,
I'm going to read my Wikipedia right now. He's got to be from Chicago area, right? Happy birthday.
Or Buffalo.
What?
One or the other.
I think it's upstate. Either upstate or Florida, I believe.
Let's see.
Because he's like,
happy birthday. Okay, so...
sounds like the Bears.
I'm just reading through it. Looks like I've mentioned everything.
Yeah.
So he says, mention my name because I'm not on stage. This is kind of a stage. I'm sitting behind this device. So I'm not on an actual stage, but this is my stage. I guess I'm on a soapbox or something. So it's, I don't know. Some would
take
say
some
I'm
of what's in the soapbox and start using
it.
Rob,
here's Mishu wanting to get you a birthday video from me. So there's that. But anyways,
I can't believe how much he is stretching.
Can I please read my absolute favorite entry from Chris Barnes' Wikipedia right now?
Go ahead.
It's delightful. It's under the section Feud with Seth Putnam.
Oh.
There was controversy surrounding Barnes and Anal Cunt's former vocalist Seth Putnam. According to Putnam, he heckled Barnes during a 6 Feet Under set, which led to an altercation between the two. Ultimately, 6 Feet Under's roadies ganged up on Putnam while Barnes fled to his tour bus. Putnam released the song Chris Barnes is a Pussy as retaliation to the incident.
That's one of their biggest hits, Chris Barnes.
Yeah.
So great. So great.
But mentioning the birthday, I feel like that's a good value. It's like $7.50 per birthday mention. You get 4 of them for $30.
All right, let's see another one.
Oh my God.
Raul. Hey, Raul, it's me, Chris Barnes. Horns up.
Isn't that the same one?
Yeah, it's the same one.
Oh, did he re-upload it?
Yeah, I guess. Oh, it's a different video, though? All right. Did Chris Barnes ever do a diss track to, retaliate to Chris Barnes is a pussy?
It doesn't
I guess
seem
not.
he did.
This one's 10 minutes.
Adrian. Hey, man. Me, Chris Barnes from 6 Feet Under, Adrian. And your friend, what's his, Tetoro?
Oh, my God.
I don't know, man. Otero.
What? How did you figure this out before hitting record? What are you doing?
Could have just said, hey, it's Bill. I'm booking this cameo for my friend Adrian, but as people have to have these special names nowadays,
10 minutes long.
I'm going to use my social media name instead of my... it's me, Tom. I don't get it. But okay. Yeah, your buddy.
Listen to that. Did you hear how harsh that cough was? Like that is decades of pot smoke.
That's going to be you in a few years, Rob. You don't
yeah, that's what I was just going to say. That's what I have to.
Yeah, you're going to sound like B. Arthur.
Whose name I don't really care to take the time to learn here, with a number after it, is the one that booked me for the cameo, Adrian. And he says, you need a pep talk. I guess a pep talk is in order. Pep talks are really tough for me, just because I've most of the time I feel like I need the pep talk. I need a pep talk to do a pep talk. They're I mean, what am I supposed to say here, really?
I cannot believe how completely devoid of charisma Chris Barnes is.
The saddest thing about this video is that the recipient only got through 5 minutes before committing suicide. We'll never know what would happen if they had heard the whole thing.
I mean, he's got a workshop. I feel like this is all the pre-prep for the cameo. He's doing it on the air, like on the cameo.
Yeah.
Let's see. What do I got to say here? They want me to tell you happy birthday. Okay, happy birthday. This is all like the planning stage.
We're all going to need a pep talk. This is going to be a real interesting week. I mean, tomorrow is the election, and wow, what a crazy year, man. Wow. I mean, definitely we're all going to need a pep talk. It's a really strange time, man. I think, I don't want to go.
It's so surreal, like the way his glasses are lined up.
Yes.
There's a clock that's lined up with his eyeballs. And it's so trippy. It's so fucking trippy.
It's like googly eyes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
go into it, but
his poor friend is like, I didn't
really,
ask for
really,
politics.
really strange point
who
in
gives a shit?
History.
His friend is sitting there right now, like, did you pay the right Chris Barnes? Like, it's a common name. It could be like, is this like an MSNBC analyst
from Spin Doctors?
Well,
who looks probably almost exactly the same as this guy, so easy mistake to make. But you think a pep talk from the Little Miss Can't Be Wrong guy would be a little bit more upbeat than this fucking shit. It's like you went to a fucking support group and just listen to somebody else talk about their problems. Come on, Chris.
Pretty wild to see how things go after Tuesday. So enough of that. Onto this cameo for you, buddy. It says here in the instructions, it says, "Hey Chris, my friend is a massive fan of mine." Okay, well, thank you, Adrian. I'm glad to have you along for the ride. I'm glad you like what I've been doing all these decades. And it says here that you're a guitarist with your own band. Okay, well, I always have appreciated guitarists. I have some great people. I've worked with some great guitarists over my career, and
they all ran
I've
away
always
from me.
wanted to play guitar, and I've written a few songs with my limited knowledge over the years. 6 Feet Under. Wrote the main riff for 420 and wrote The Journey into Darkness.
He really is just going over his Wikipedia page now. What is this? Is not a pep talk.
But
what are we doing?
Never was really very knowledgeable at knowing the fretboard as well as I should have. Come
on, let's wrap it up.
As much time as I spent goofing around on the guitar since I was, from age 14 on, for like 30 years until my guitarist Ray Suey. He's a phenomenal guitarist, if you know who he is. But and he's a guitar teacher. He's
Ray Suey.
Got to be a good guitar teacher because he unlocked the fretboard for me, and at least now I know how to play solos over backing tracks from YouTube, blues videos and stuff. That's as far as I'm really
Every
gonna
time he
take
laughs,
it.
I
don't
consider
really.
quitting pot.
I'm just kind of play guitar.
Every time he laughs, I think, is this really worth it for me? I don't know.
Rob, tell me if this is correct. I've never lived this
Still.
experience, but this feels to me like the equivalent of like your drug dealer comes over just to bring you some pot
Yes.
and then won't
yes.
leave.
Won't
it's just
leave. Yes.
like you make some small talk while doing the exchange, and he thinks it's an excuse to like just tell you literally everything that's happened to him this year.
Right, like he starts smoking lighting up a blunt, and you're like, oh, cool, at least I get to smoke a free blunt. But then halfway through, you're like, you know what, this isn't even worth it. Like my high is ruined. Like I'm not enjoying this.
He might never
this
leave.
is punishment.
The twist of the scene is that the drug dealer is actually Chris Barnes.
As a exploration, like meditation, and just exploring my own inner self, and it's able to take me to that place I want to go. So I don't have any aspirations of being a shredder or some phenomenal guitarist like you. I'm just I'm just me. I'm happy being being able to have a meditative
maybe
journey
in a roundabout way,
and
like his
go
method
to a
of
place.
pep talk is to make the person feel better by realizing that their life is better than Chris Barnes's.
That's a good point. Yeah,
Like
I could see that.
I could keep listening to this, or I could go outside and do something. There's a whole big world out there. Let's get out and get active.
You could run the risk of it going the other way, though. Like you said, 5 minutes in, he offs himself.
Yeah, just
it's a coin toss.
Oh my god.
Okay.
He's the Francesa of metal, just droning on endlessly about things nobody cares about from 40 years ago.
Oh my god.
Mickey Mantle, okay. It's the same thing about him like learning how to play guitar. Who gives a fuck?
And we still have 6 minutes left in this cameo. No matter what else happens, we need to get through this whole fucking thing. We need to know how he lands the plane.
Is there a 1.75x feature on
Sadly.
Where
no.
That is how I'm able to achieve that in my life. So I enjoy guitar simply on that basis, and that's good enough for me. So
okay.
Well, let's see here.
Whoa!
I think the phlegm just hit me. Forget about hearing it.
Oh my god, folks. Okay, I'm going to speak a little lower because I want everyone listening to really raise their volume right now. You have to hear what I just. You have to hear what I just heard in my headphones. It was I'm officially quitting smoking weed now. Like this is so unnerving. Listen.
Enjoy guitar simply on that basis, and that's good enough for me. So
here it comes.
Well,
what was that? What was that? There was like a little Tweety bird in there.
It's like a pebble that flew out of his mouth.
I thought I saw a putty tat.
Oh my god.
Let's see here. Okay, so you have your own band. Congratulations, and your friend, whatever his name is, says that excuse me, you haven't had much time for music, and you just had a son. Okay, man, congratulations, and your son is actually named Chris in my honor.
What?
Oh,
That's awesome, dude. I've never had anybody name their kid after me, but that I know of. But I'll tell you what, that's thank you. Hopefully he has a great start. He's got a great name, and everything's going well with your son and everything, man. That's really cool. That's chalk that one up, man. Someone named their kid after me.
Hopefully he doesn't follow you so much that he gets tuberculosis. Smoking.
R.I.P. to Chris Barnes this week in advance, and also to Adrian, who there's no way survived this entire video.
This fucking death rattle.
The poor little kid is gonna grow up without a father because his dad opened a fucking cameo by accident.
His voice sounds like Mike Tyson boxing.
But so well, it says you haven't had time for music and stuff because of your newborn son. Well, so what? I mean, there's priorities in life, man, and family is the number one priority. Taking care of yourself and your family, and music is just some superficial art, that it's like a pencil, man. It's laying on the table. It'll be there when you're ready. You can't miss times with your son, or
what's this?
Worry about music. I mean, don't.
Oh no, there's like a buzzing from his throat. Do you hear that? Hold on. It's like a when he's inhaling.
Miss times with your son, or worry about music. I mean,
hell yeah.
Don't be silly, man. Music is really not even important in life. I mean, for me, it's I've been lucky to be able to explore, music, and I don't have a family, man. I don't have a son. I don't have any kids. I have a dog, and I've lived a long life being by myself, man. And I'd rather, let you know that having a family and spending time with your son and watching him grow up and helping him through all these, formative years, as they say, that's a lot more important.
I think I know
him
what
having
has
a
to
dad
happen, right?
that's present, and that
Adrian had a son and is now depressed. Chris Barnes has no children and is depressed. I think Chris Barnes needs to adopt Adrian's son. Problem solved. There you go. He's a lonely bastard.
Is excited to have a son. That's really a lot more important than music. It's just, music's not really that important in the great scheme of things, man. We're born into this world alone. Hopefully have a good family.
We're almost there. Only 3 more minutes of rambling.
Jesus Christ.
Family that'll love us and help us through.
This will be the last
up,
one.
And be there while we have the time on this in this realm that we're in. I don't want to get too spiritual or philosophical, but really, man, there isn't anything more important than that. And music's just a superficial, sprinkle on the cake.
For a second.
It's not really that important.
Look at the, so what, with the screen we're watching, the upper right-hand corner of his face, like above his eyebrow, is like a reddish, purplish area. Does he have rosacea or something, or is that a bruise? What's going on there? Is that just awkward lighting?
It looks like a skin discoloration.
Maybe he has shingles. He's got something going on there.
In the great scheme of things, so, and that's coming from someone who's spent his life playing music and having
he's got the Dusty Rhodes belly
with it. It's just there are other things much more important, let me tell you, buddy. So don't feel bad that you haven't had time to spend making music. The music's out there. It'll always be out there. When the time is right, the music will come to you and you'll be able to spend time on it. I believe that all those things are already out there in the universe somewhere in the ether, and we're just an antenna. Sometimes the dial gets tuned to our frequency, and it's time to create something for ourselves. And if others like it, or if it gets out there to other people to enjoy, that's cool. But it's really not that important, man. The important thing is spending time with your new son and having a good time with him, man. So, I mean, that's really all I can say on that. I just,
thank goodness.
I just don't think you need to be feel like you're missing out on anything, because you really would miss out on something very important.
Especially if you listen to 6 Feet Under.
Focus your time on
You might end up
something
6 feet
that's
under.
not really that important, and miss time with your son, and don't feel guilty for.
I get what he's saying, but it's very weird that he keeps repeating that music is not important when it's literally his entire life.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
the only reason someone paid him to do this cameo.
Yeah. It's so weird.
Feeling like you're not becoming a musician or anything, man. You're a dad. That's the most important thing you could be. So, Adrian, good luck with everything, and hopefully get to see you. I'm going out on tour with 6 Feet Under, co-headlining with Nile in January and February here in the States. So maybe you'll get to catch one of the shows if you got some free time, man. So take care, buddy, and thanks for the great honor of naming your son after me. And like I said, he's got a great name and a great dad. So you guys take care, and we'll see you around, all right? Horns up to you, metal brother. Seth.
This was 8
What's
minutes.
up, Seth? I guess
Is this to Seth Putnam's corpse?
son booked me for this cameo. It says to Sylvain, quote, Seth Barrett. So I'm gonna just call you Seth. It looks like that's what everyone calls you, and
I can't.
It's too much. What an unexpected treat that was.
That was lovely. Nice to see he's still around.
For
And
now.
music gave him this whole second career of getting stoned and rambling for super fans for 10 minutes. So can't say music is nothing.
Yeah.
Just be like me. You can sit on your ass all day and just talk about smoking cigarettes and doing all this other stuff. Just be like me. That's what you got to do in life.
Wait, Sid, so where was he from?
Stuffalo. You're right.
Was he?
I don't know if that's where he still is.
Can you look on the
I think he
interchange
lives in
video and see if he's stuck in traffic right now?
No. He lives in Florida for sure. But yeah,
he
he
might
was
be
born in
visiting
Buffalo.
family. I don't know. Oh, he doesn't have any family. All right, forgot.
That's so sad.
Or also they all just disowned him because they just can't stand him.
That really did
they
turn
don't-
into
they
a
don't have to-
therapy session.
Yeah. It is so wild, like, in our deep dives into Cameo, how if you watch more than one of these, like if you just see one of them, it just has the context of like, oh, he's talking to me. But when you're watching it as this fly on the wall and you see the process of them doing a few of them, it really unlocks these things about their character and their psyche that
And their lives.
there's a lot of subtext there that you could find.
Yeah. You can dig into the way they approach doing a cameo and figure out what it says about them.
Right. Yeah.
Like when you have like Dave Mustaine and he's filming them like at these events he's attending or on his way to, or he's like at the studio. He wants you to see how cool his life is.
Yes.
And then you get Chris Barnes who's like super tight shot of his face because he doesn't want you to see the squalor that he's living in. And it's all from the same angle and the same. It's like you learn a lot.
And then you got fucking Vince Neil, who's passed out on his couch because he can't move because he scarfed like 97 dozen Oreos last night. It's just a big amorphous blob from a body horror movie from the 2000s. He can't barely open his mouth. Hey, man, guys, I'm just doing this cameo now because I can't move because I'm paralyzed from a food coma.
I mean, Mick Mars is paralyzed from life, so maybe it's going to get each member of Motley Crue one by one.
It's subconscious sympathy, self-paralyzation.
Are there any other people, Rob?
Vince Neil is as big as Mars now.
Oh,
I looked up Dave Mustaine's cameo. I can't tell if this is a one we played already or an old one.
Is he at NASCAR? That doesn't narrow it down at all.
He's in his car, so that's.
Oh, he's in NASCAR.
This looks.
Hello, me. Meet the real me. Hey, George, it's Dave
now.
Mustaine, and your kids wanted me to reach out and say hello to you for Christmas. And
this is another pep talk one.
also. Just
told me
on
that
with
you and
guys.
I may have
Coffee
something in common when we had a little bit of a disease that was.
No, oh no. Dave Mustaine also, by the way, known pothead.
Hitting us, and I'm a little bit further down the line, and I'm in remission, and I'm healed. And you're going to be too, dude, because you're not a pussy, and you're not going to give up.
Wow.
And I know that your
Only
daughter and
pussies
your
die from
son
cancer.
love
Do
you
you
very
notice,
much.
like,
So that
can you pause that
own
for a second? He's now like, so if God forbid the guy dies, he's basically calling him a pussy.
Yeah.
Easily. Very, very considerate.
Dave Mustaine guitar, and you took it to a concert last year to try and get it autographed. Did we not autograph that? Why don't you let me know that, and maybe we can figure some time and a place where you can join up with us, and we can talk about signing that guitar for you.
What a fucking stupid, inane comment that is. What? He's asking you for an autograph of a guitar. Did we not sign that? No, he wants 2 autographs on the guitar.
And also reach out to me, and then we can talk about signing that for you.
Yeah, you dumb
There's still
fuck.
a negotiation.
Well, he's saying I'm going to yell at my manager or whatever, and they'll do all the arranging. That's what he's saying.
And also, is the guy going to answer you in this one-way cameo?
Yeah, right? Like, how do you send that?
Well, you can buy another cameo. With
exactly, right?
I believe there is DM functionality, though, to be fair.
I want you to fight. I want you to fight hard.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the cameo count.
All your DMs go to Dave Mustaine.
He has the copyright.
I was writing to Tegan and Sarah for a cameo, and I went to Dave Mustaine for some reason.
Did what you're made of, because
send them a
there are
TS.
people, George, that know you, that are jealous of you, that want you to lay down and die. And there are people in the world that are threatened by you, that want you to get out of the race because you are a threat to them and you intimidate them. What I say about that is,
it's like
fuck
a suicide
them.
advice.
Anyways, I wish you the very, very best. You got good kids, and I can honestly say I'd be proud to have
you don't know how his kids are.
Kids that wanted me to fight. My kids do, and I know
my kids don't want me to fight. They want me to die.
They want that money. The Mustaine money. Fuck out of here.
How great that feels to know that you have somebody that's looking up to you and wants you to be a fighter, and when you are, what kind of an impression that makes. So to your kids,
it's like a Kelly Clarkson song at this point.
They didn't tell me their names, but I'm sure they're wonderful young people and
cool names like Electra and Michelob, like my kids. What was the son's name? I don't remember the son's name.
Justice.
Even better than Michelob.
I name my children after the bands that kicked me out and their albums.
Well, it's Justice with an S instead of a CE.
It's just us, Rob.
And Electra, wasn't that the label that Metallica was on?
Yep. It's so transparent. Like do you think to this day, these kids are like 40? Do you think he realizes the Metallica connection in their names?
It's like Rob realizing why he never had sex with a public fingering girl.
Yes.
All these years later, he's like, "Oh shit, I just thought Electra sounded cool. I didn't realize."
I've got another child on the way, believe it or not, named Wherever I May Roam.
If you did get that signed or not. And until then, I want to wish you a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And I want to see you, I want to meet you, and I want you to tell me, your lips to my ears, that you beat leukemia. Okay? Sexy. So I'll be very curious about what's going on with you. Take care, and hopefully I'll be doing this again next Christmas. Cheers.
But don't get too close when you whisper in my ear.
Real me.
But don't get too close when you whisper in my ear, because I don't want to catch leukemia.
Yeah, that's right.
I finally beat this shit.
Oh, man. And isn't Dave Mustaine in the news for something else this week, Rob?
Yes. So actually, he settled the lawsuit with his former management company. I didn't realize this, but Dave recently, or not too recently, let go of his management. And I guess it resulted in some money issues.
He stiffed him?
Because he stiffed them on some cash, on some commissions they were owed. And then they took him to court. And because of this, then Mustaine countersued. And you know what this is all about? Metallica.
What?
Of course.
Yes. So, I could read. You look up the Blabbermouth article. If you just the Blabbermouth article is titled "Megadeth's Dave Mustaine agrees to pay $1.4 million to settle fired ex-manager's lawsuit," and it goes through all the details and it kind of explains the management side of how they, agreed to work with Dave on and what they would get out of it is a 15% commission on gross profits for Megadeth. And they basically claimed that they resuscitated his career, which they absolutely did. They brought it to new levels. They fucking muzzled him and actually got him like endorsements, and they definitely moved up playing, large clubs to arenas in this last time when they were managing them. And so, everything you would expect out of a lawsuit that an ex-manager is suing an artist. And then the article noted that there was a countersuit saying that that they didn't do their job. And so I want to read just what his countersuit said. Also, I do want to mention that in the initial suit, the ex-managers wrote that Dave Mustaine had a known history of firing advisors. 9 years, have terminated this management company 9 years after having, and this is in the lawsuit, resurrected his failing career.
Oh, shit.
Anyway, Mustaine filed a countersuit against the management company in which Megadeth frontman accused the former manager of continuous and repeated management failures throughout their professional relationship with Mustaine and Megadeth, including a conflict of interest, negligence, breach of fiduciary duties, and have, in addition to their monetary injuries, dealt serious blows to Megadeth's reputation and even Dave Mustaine's physical health.
They gave him cancer?
Well, the danger to his physical health is after months of managerial failure. So here's the example that they give of the health issue. The health of Mustaine and Megadeth crew was jeopardized and indeed harmed by the management company. In 2023, Megadeth was scheduled to perform in Australia at Knotfest, a music festival created by the heavy metal band Slipknot, who coincidentally is managed by the same management company.
Rob, you talking about this as a conflict of interest.
I guess it is true. It is a little bit of a conflict. I should mention that I sometimes work for this management company for Knotfest. It's the same company that owns Knotfest.
Wow.
Have they put your health in jeopardy at any point, Rob? Tell us.
They have never put my health in jeopardy. They have been nothing but wonderful partners to work with, I have to say. Knotfest, yes, wonderful partners. In 2020, Megadeth scheduled to perform Australia Knotfest, musical created by the heavy metal band Slipknot. And before Megadeth performed, management was notified that the stage lacked the 21 feet of stage space between the front edge of the drum riser and Mustaine's microphone. This is the distance required for Mustaine to perform safely without damaging his hearing. Instead, the stage at Knotfest Australia only had approximately 12 feet between the drum riser front edge and the microphone, over 9 feet less than was safely required. And the management was already aware of the necessity of the stage space as it was specified in the rider. In an attempt to resolve this problem safely, Mustaine and Megadeth asked management to move Slipknot's production back to allow for more space on stage. Management refused. After performing 2 nights with his limited and unsafe stage space, Mustaine's hearing sustained damage, requiring medical attention from Australian paramedics. The injury has caused significant harm to Mustaine's hearing. He continues to suffer hearing loss and is in the process of seeking further treatment.
I gotta say, now he's a well-known prevaricator, but if true, that seems like a legitimate complaint. Now, This is where I'm skeptical, because this guy has done, 40,000 shows in his life.
Yeah.
I mean, are you telling me 2 shows impacted his hearing that much? There had to be so much time when he was not performing safely in the 80s and everything.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
And also, like, this seems to me like it could have been a situation where the manager was like, listen, Dave, it is what it is. This is the situation. If you want to drop off the show, we'll support you, but here's the consequences of that. And Dave went ahead with the show and then had a bad reaction. And instead of taking the blame himself for making that decision, he blamed the management for putting him in the situation to make the wrong decision.
I'm litigious.
Yeah. And also, yeah, he had to countersue somehow, so he was going to come up with some shit one way or the other.
Well, and then here is the best part. Management failed to pursue revenues that were owed to Mustaine. In 2017, Mustaine informed management that he intended to pursue his interest in songwriting credit and royalties for songs that he wrote or co-wrote as a member of Metallica, and for which he was owed royalties. Management participated in discussions with Mustaine regarding these credits and royalties and were aware that they were responsible for pursuing this matter to ensure that Mustaine was appropriately credited and compensated for his work. They failed to do so. After broaching the topic in 2016, they never received any updates on the matter. Instead, upon information and belief, management simply failed to act. Through their inaction, management failed to appropriately pursue or protect Mustaine's interests. This, I think, is silly. I'm sure they heard him out and they were like, oh, yeah, we don't have a case here. Like, we're not bothering. Like, that's totally what I think it was.
And also, that happened in 2017, he said?
Yeah.
And he's still stuck with them for another 6 years? I mean,
Preach.
At that point, like, you clearly didn't mind that much.
I just figured out what they were doing, just like I just figured out what my kids' names mean. Fuck, no!
It'd be great if Elektra Records sued him to have his daughter's name changed.
Yeah, we have proprietary rights to that name. Sorry.
We don't want to be associated with her shitty career.
They can't do anything about justice because he spelled it differently. Just like when you go to Roll & Roaster and they have cheese with a Z.
Yes, with a Z. You can't say that's not actually made of cheese. What is that? It's delicious. That's what it is. Shut the fuck up. And I do.
Justice is not actually justice.
Oh, they should let him preside over this case.
Yeah. Yeah, they should. With a wig. A big Mustaine with a white wig.
Maybe they did like a mock trial at the Mustaine house.
Imagine.
Keep Dad. Keep him cheered up.
All rise. The Honorable Dave Mustaine is now entering the living room. I mean, the courthouse.
Now I want to judge Steve Harvey, but it's Judge Dave Mustaine. In every case, they're both guilty for wasting Dave's time.
Yeah, everyone get out. You all suck.
This reminds me of something Lars said. Then it just turns into like 45 minutes.
Counselors, I'd like a sidebar to discuss how cool I am. Approach the bench.
Keep saying court things in Dave voice. It's great.
Yes. Objection overruled. Probably in one of his songs somewhere.
Sure it is.
There's a song where like it starts with like court, like it's a courtroom scene. Your Honor, we find the defendant guilty.
I think you're thinking of Fuck the Police.
I'm thinking of it's called Captive Honor. Captive Honor.
Captive honor, have no honor.
But we can't. But like, there's a whole courtroom scene. It's really an offensive song. It's like a guy getting convicted and going to jail. He's like a big criminal mastermind, and he goes to jail. And it's about prison rape. Like he gets raped and he goes to prison.
Rights? What do you mean rights?
Rights? I ain't got no rights. I ain't got a life. I ain't got a life. What do you mean? Life? He gets life.
Life. Yeah.
What do you mean life? I ain't got a life. That's like an unheralded Megadeth classic song, even though the subject matter is now canceled.
Yeah, it's a deep cut on that album.
Yeah.
Countdown. Well, let's talk about, now that we're on the topic of music, let's talk about our Spotify playlist. Every week, we each pick a song. We drop it in our playlist, the RIPL Livecast Music Break. You can search for it there. this time I'm going back to the 90s, or maybe the late 80s, but I think the 90s with a little D-Town Boogie. I went to a rave last weekend.
Whoa.
Last Saturday night here in Brooklyn. I went to see the DJ Honey Dijon with my boyfriend and my sister. She's actually amazing. She produced a bunch of tracks on the previous, not the country, but the previous Beyonce album, the dancey one, Renaissance. And that's how
they let women DJ now.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. She's a trans woman, so I mean.
I was gonna say, well,
do it that way you
may. It sounded like a RuPaul's Drag Race contestant.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. There was some drag queens named Honey. It was great. It was a very so it was at Brooklyn Navy Yard at this warehouse, and very cold. But like there were these gays that showed up, and there was this one guy literally just in a jockstrap walking around. Like,
and you were in your Speedo?
I'm no, I was fully dressed. I did have to take, it was hot. I had to take the jacket off, but it was great. I really enjoyed it. Honey Dijon is an insane DJ. She comes to your town. The big downside is her set started at 1 a.m.
Oh my God.
Went until 5 a.m. I did not last the whole time, but it was great. If it was like from 7 to 11, much more tolerable for me. I would have stayed the whole time, but
no, that's DJ Golden's does those hours.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah.
You want the Honey Dijon, you got to stay up a little later.
Yeah, that's DJ Grey Poupon.
I just want to see DJ Mayo Chup.
Fridge right now.
No, but she played these old classics from like 90s and stuff, and it made me think how crazy, like, growing up in New York had such an influence on my musical taste, because I absolutely heard the song a million times. You guys have heard the song. Just because it's just like, this is what people will play on the streets, and just walking, it is inescapable, and I feel that's one of the cool parts of living in a city. So Sid, what's your pick?
Well, speaking of drag queens, I was watching the latest episode of Drag Race Down Under, and the guest judge was this performer named Lady Hawk, who I'd never heard of. Have either of you guys ever heard of Lady Hawk before? She's from New Zealand, and I guess she's been around for like 20 years, give or take. But like, so she was one of the judges, and the final lip sync was to her song, her big hit song, My Delirium. And I'd never heard it before, but it's really good. Female-fronted rock, just really good song. So decided to put that on the playlist. Darren, what's your pick?
Nice.
My song is from the band Un Loco, and it's called Bruises, and it's on the Matrix, second Matrix movie soundtrack. I'm doing a deep dive on the Matrix because it came up as a subject in school in my film class as a trans allegory. We had a whole section on trans depiction in movies, and the Matrix. It's amazing how much stuff you recognize as like trans related. And maybe we'll get into it another time on the show, but of course directed by two trans women, and written. But yeah, that's my song, and it's like it was like a nice throwback to like 90s K-rock. It's never heard of this band.
Yeah, a little
before.
new metal.
Yeah, a little new metal. So it's POD reminiscent, but not shitty. Yeah, so that's my song. No, I like new metal in certain contexts, but some of the bands but they really do not like. But yeah. That's that.
So that's it. That's our show. And if you want to throw us a few bones, show your support, we'd appreciate it. Patreon.com/RIP Livecast. Donate as much as you want. Do it. But if you give us at least $5 a month, you get access to our bonus episodes, 2 episodes a month, and access to our archives of bonus episodes over 5 years. It's like 100 episodes in there. Easy, maybe, probably. I don't know. At least 50. And a lot of fun stuff in there. We just posted a watch along of this movie, The Unbreakable Bunch, which you probably haven't heard of unless you've been in our Discord. The Unbreakable Bunch stars all of these retired professional wrestlers like Haku, Glacier, Ernest the Cat Miller, and the living legend himself, Larry Zbyszko, who comes and goes from the movie. And it's kind of like a weird alien movie, but not. It's one of the worst movies we've seen, but one of the best times we had watching one of the worst movies.
It was so much fun.
I know we say that a lot, but this one was a lot of fun. We also did a great roundtable discussion recently on Queen of Villains, the Netflix show about Dump Matsumoto. which was a great series worth watching. So check all that stuff out. Patreon.com/RIP Livecast. $10 gets you a shout out at the end of the show, which is right now. I'm going to do it as Chris Barnes.
Oh, I already have a volunteer. I want to volunteer to do it.
Great.
If you don't mind. Will you set on doing it? I want to do it as Chris Barnes cutting a cameo for all of these people.
Oh, great. That's what I thought it should be.
What if you guys trade back and forth so you had the same idea?
Hi, everybody. My name is Chris Barnes, and Eric Benjamin. I don't have a family. I don't have any kids. I have a dog that I put cigarettes out on, and he's very happy, you know. Horns up to you, metal brother. I'm Chris Barnes. Dan shush. I lived a long life by myself, you know, just going down to the bodega, having conversations with the bodega owner, talking about how Skittles used to have more fruit flavor. And like, I am very happy with that. You should be too. I'm Chris Barnes. Lando Danks, LaCroix. I don't want to get too spiritual, as philosophical, but like music is like a chocolate cake, you know, it's got icing on it and it's full of all kind of chemical horse shit that the Jews put in it to make you fat. But anyways, don't take music too seriously because I'm Chris Barnes. Corey and Scotty H and Aaron, the music is superficial art, like a table. It's just laying there on the table like a pencil or like the 7 empty bottles of Sudafed that I just chugged. I'm Chris Barnes. Mr. Schmersler, Douglas, who are you, Levison? You can't miss times with your son. To worry about music. Music's the real most important thing. And also, it's not really important. Like, not important at all. Like, don't think about it at all. I'm Chris Barnes. Slinky's in Janda. The music is out there. You don't have to make music. There's already music. We don't need another, like, POD or Incubus or whatever your band probably sounds like. Just get Spotify and listen to that and stop trying to do stuff. That's what I did. I'm Chris Barnes and Randy Blatt. We're just an antenna. Like sometimes the dial gets tuned to our frequency, and sometimes the frequency tunes you into some weirdo on AM radio that talks about aliens abducting people and banging them in the butthole for like 8 hours and then dumping them back in the woods. I'm Chris Barnes, in case you forgot.
Awesome. That's our show, folks. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to get out of here. Till next week. We love you. We kiss you. Bye-bye.